Welcome. This is Dr. Connor in the Connor Bubble. And what we wanted to do is talk with you regarding some things that are going on in the Pasadena area that I want to introduce you to, also our guests as well. But first, I want to talk about some things we're doing with my students. You know that I teach at Pasadena City College, and particularly I teach marine biology and general biology. But I want to focus on what we're doing with our marine biology students. There's a new program developing called ALTA-SEA, ALTA-SEA. It's a new organization. They're going to be building a marine biology research institute in LA Harbor. It's going to be a $500 million project, and it's going to be breaking ground in about 3 years. And so they're developing right now some input from the communities, stakeholder communities, about marine science and what they think should be in the center. And I will be going to one of those meetings this week, and also getting input from my marine biology students to find out what they think should be done. And so what I want you to know, let you know that we want to bring to you things in the Connor Bubble, what's happening in the community, the region, so you can be able to share it with your family and friends. And this is one of the things, the ALTA-SEA. Search it out and you'll find out it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be probably one of the biggest marine biological innovations in my lifetime in this area. And so I say that not exaggerating, but you know, $500 million, you can buy a lot of tacos with $500 million. And so what we want to do is to let you know there are going to be many opportunities on a wide range of things where people can look for. If you have an interest in marine biology or business in general, there may be some opportunities, and we'll bring you some more updates on that. Having said that, as we're trying to build up leadership with my students, it's one of the reasons why we have our guest here today, Mr. Earl Woodford. He's a CEO of a company that I hadn't heard of until fairly recently, One E-Way. Is that correct?
That's
One
correct.
E-Way. And a colleague of mine and a friend of the Connor Bubble, Dr. Charles Clay, was talking to me and suggested we sit down and chat. And we chatted, and then our schedules allowed Earl to come in to chat with us about what he's doing, his entrepreneurial spirit, so we can encourage you to also unleash the entrepreneurial spirit in your own life and give you some motivation and let you know what's happening near you. Earl Woodford, thank you for coming to the Connor Bubble.
Thank you for having me.
You're also a Trojan?
Yes, yes I am.
Yeah, so,
yes.
So I always like talking to fellow Trojans, you know, and so we want to make sure that we give you a fair hearing about what's going on in your innovations and stuff. Tell us a little bit about your background before we get into what your company is doing.
Okay, yes, as you said, I am a Trojan, so I did graduate from USC with my degree in bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. Went on after that to work on a master's degree in electrical engineering. Got a little sidetracked along the way, kind of had this idea of wireless, and that kind of brought me into more of this space and more research and development in this area.
Okay, now that's interesting, because one of the things that I was intrigued by is that you're going into electrical engineering and you got motivated to come and do something in the marketplace. How's that come about? What sparked your interest in terms of that something is needed in the marketplace?
So what was happening was I'd like to work out. One of the things I like to do in my spare time just to relax from school and studying was I like to work out. So I worked out at a place called, in this local area, it's the Santa Monica Stairs. So I actually used to work out there, and I noticed that people would, as they're going up and down the stairs exercising, that cord that they had going to their media player would get in the way. And people would hit that with their arms, they'd trip, they'd stumble, and it seemed like it was kind of not just a dangerous situation, but a completely uncomfortable and inconvenient situation.
Okay.
So I said, there's something that can be done about this.
Okay.
So this was back in the 1990s, and I started working, putting together some of the information that I had learned in the past with my electrical engineering background, and started to figure out how this could be done, to actually remove the cord and be able to enjoy the convenience of not having the wire with high quality sound.
You know what's intriguing about that the way that came about, just carrying on your regular life, doing what you normally do, and innovation and inspiration hit you.
Yes.
And so, and this is something for the audience to keep in mind. What we want to do with the Counter Bubble is to help you see things around you, and that just in your own life, in your own sphere, there may be opportunities that you can take advantage of. It reminds me of a story of, I think in South Africa, a gentleman wanted to strike it rich and wanted to find everybody striking rich and with the diamonds and all of this kind of stuff, and so he went and sold his land and went out and searching for diamonds. He searched high and low and couldn't find any, just destitute. Later, make a long story short, on his property that he abandoned was some of the richest gold diamond mines ever in South Africa, and he had it, and he didn't even know what he had it in his own home, in his own property. And so we want you to understand that where you are right now could be your diamond mine or gold mine if you take a moment and reflect on what's happening around you. And that's what Mr. Wilford is telling us about in terms of his understanding of wireless. So define for us what you mean by wireless. I know you mentioned cordless, but give us a little bit more. Since you have a technical background, what does that entail actually?
So, and when I mention that, so when I say wireless, so you want to be able to send basically you're sending your information, in this case media information, say we're talking about music, for example.
Okay.
You want to send that media information across a radio frequency, and you want to be able to do that so you can actually eliminate that cord. So basically that allows, in this case with what I noticed was this can actually separate one user from another. So we can have not just the media signal going across from your mobile device, say for instance your smartphone, to your headphones, for example, and then you could also be working out with someone else and they can be listening to their music as well, separate from what you're doing. So I figured that we have a code that would separate one user from the other.
Oh, okay. And that's in the 90s, so you had to sort of solve all those technical hurdles, I imagine.
That's correct, yes.
Now, why One E-Way?
One E-Way was, it's our model. It's the way we do things. Our One E-Way. E actually is a reference from the Bible, Isaiah. It's a scripture from Isaiah when actually the people of Israel referred to God as El Elohi. And so that's the E. We think of it doing things in this way. Work hard, do our best, let God do the rest.
Okay. So Elohim, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So that's interesting. I never would have thought that. I would have thought the E was for like electronic or something like that. Okay. So you putting a spiritual hook to your whole basis for your business then?
That's correct, yes.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Good to know these kind of things because things just don't happen. You know, things, they develop and evolve and things, and people have an origin. And so your product has a strong origin in your educational background, your spiritual background, and stuff like that. Now, what have you noticed when people are using your product?
So what we notice is that first of all, convenience.
Okay.
We want to be able to have our products work with someone's lifestyle. So whatever they're doing in their lifestyle, we have products that actually meet that.
Okay.
So when you talk about, for example, our wireless. So we have wireless, but we actually also have wearable wireless. So when a person's actually running, for example, and they can, they don't have to have the cords hanging down. They can actually utilize, for example, we have runner's caps. So someone can actually have the cord coming straight down from their cap right into their ears, listen to their music as they run, as opposed to having wires that are coming all around.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, when people try to get in contact with you and ask a little bit more about this background, do you give them like a history of wireless, or how do people interact with you?
Usually it turns out that way. We actually will, Dr. Connor, we will actually give people kind of a general information about technology. A lot of times they say, well, how does this actually work? How do I actually get my phone to connect to actually what you have with your caps, for example? Right. And so we can actually give them that information, show them how easy it is to do that, and then also be able to tell them how convenient it is, and then allow them to hear the great sound quality.
Okay, all right, very good. Do you envision it being available in like a lot of different locations?
Yes, we do. We do see it going in a lot of places. People, today's society, especially as you meet their lifestyle, the different lifestyles of everyone out there, you want to be able to have it be available to you wherever you go. So
Okay.
far we're available in USC Bookstore. We also available in the Pasadena Cyclery. We have bicycle helmets that actually while the person is riding on their bicycle, they can listen to their media, their music while they're riding. So yeah.
Can you adjust the volume easily?
Yes, very easy to adjust the volume, and we continue to grow. We continue to expand on the technology, continue to make it better. So we're always coming out with new innovations and new ways to utilize it.
Now, do you find that women are more or men more likely to want to use wireless wearable stuff? You know, what do you find?
What we found is that, for example, women tend to like, for example, we have a pink runner's cap.
Okay, that's what this is.
Exactly.
Right
So we have a pink runner's cap, and that's basically, you know, we have, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month right now, so we
Okay.
have that in recognition of that. And so that allows women to really, you know, get the feel of in their lifestyle, being able to run.
Okay.
And so we actually have a lot of women that are interested in that particular.
Now, this raises a very interesting point. Not only are you talking about a wearable product and stuff like that, what you're also are talking about is being able to be involved with the community.
Yes.
Is that important to your philosophy as a CEO of your company, community involvement?
It's very important. And one of the things that we actually strive to do is we want to be able to educate. That's part of what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to see that there are more scientists that are actually coming into the field of whether it's electrical engineering or some other type of engineering or science in general. We want to promote that. We want to show that, you know, here's someone, I'm a kid who was going to USC at that time, and I came up with an idea based on the fact that I had some information and knowledge to allow me to do that. So we are big promoters in terms of education and helping others to be able to do that. We want to be able to have scholarships that are available for kids to be able to go and learn and be educated in engineering, science, so on.
All right. When, you know, the community involvement with the breast cancer awareness, and then also I noticed you have another cap that run right there with the LA. You can also community spirit in terms of supporting the city that you live in and all this kind of stuff.
That's correct, yes.
So do you see like different sports clubs, like little leagues and things like that, and anything like that envision any of those kind of things?
Yes, actually we do, because you know, most people love music. And music goes wherever you go, whatever your style of music, whatever your kind that you like, it's going to be there. So in terms of just listening to music, and by the way, you can watch movies, movie audio, gaming audio, other types of audio as well, not just music, but music is everywhere.
Right.
And so this being a part of Little League, a part of this leisure, a part of whatever else you may be doing. Maybe you're sitting around watching a ball game, and you know you want your favorite city on your cap, and you want to sit there and listen. Media, especially with your mobile device, people are watching games on their smartphone or their tablet. So be able to sit there and watch, and then have your favorite city with the headphones wirelessly is a great option.
Now, if people wanted to get more information about your background and about the company and things that you do, what would they do?
So they can go to OneEWay. Go to OneEWay, oneeway.com, ONE-E-way.com, and they can get more information about, you know, what we have. We have our social media as well, so they can see what we're doing out in different places, locations, and then also they can get more information about what we have in terms of our patented technology.
Okay. So you have done some patents on it?
Yes, we actually have filed patents. We have 5 patents covering, the patents are inside of our devices, and we have patents covering this.
So talk to me about the patent and the background and being able to accomplish that. Was that a difficult task?
That is a challenging task, especially coming into it. We didn't know much about the patent process, and that's one of the things we want to help people understand is the education and learning what you need to actually patent an idea. It's great to have an idea, but once you go and take that idea, put it down on paper, and take that to the patent office,
Right.
you find that there's a lot of resistance there that you have to overcome.
Right.
And so that's a
When you say
process.
resistance, is it that they just so busy they don't want to just have people frivolously coming up with things?
And I know that is part of it. That's definitely part of it. The other part is that you really hone into what you're really patenting. So it really makes you focus in on what is your idea, because the patent office is going to make sure they do that. They're going to make sure to draw you in into exactly what you were thinking about when you
Right.
actually came up with the idea.
So that's important because as an expert in this technology and you have your own company, that's why people, I wanted you to come and talk and present you as someone that folks can see is knowledgeable about the technology, knowledgeable about the business side of what to put together, to run a business, to have it to position to grow and expand. Because that's what the community needs, particularly in the African American community. So many immigrants come in penniless and then come in and have the background from their own country and then come in and be very successful, where a lot of times the African American community is not taking advantage of the opportunities that the immigrants see.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to highlight your background and your efforts to be able to go and share that knowledge base, because people need to know someone who looks like them has gone through the steps and getting the patent, getting all the incorporation stuff and that kind of stuff. It's very important. That's why this program is designed to be on a positive note, is to be able to help people and encourage people. It can be done.
Yes.
In the 21st century, it can be done.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to having you come on more and more times about the success that you're having in your business, because that is a role model that we need in the community, and that people can see that an entrepreneur looks like them, they can be successful. If you had a young person listening to you and they wanted their mom or dad to get them this particular kind of device, what would you caution them about? Is there any cautionary thing in terms of just don't, be unaware of what's going on or something like that? Anything?
Yes, that's one of the things, and that's kind of the case with any kind of musical device. For example, you want to make sure you understand where you are, know your surroundings, pay attention. Sometimes we can get locked into the music,
Right.
and so it's always good to pay attention to your surroundings and
Right.
such.
Yeah, because I just mentioned that because I would hate to you see these commercials, a woman on a phone or something like that and steps in the pool, and or the guy runs into the door or things like that. And I want young people to know that the technology is exciting, but it also make sure that you're aware that you don't step off a curve or something like that. So you have to be aware of your surroundings. It's maturity that comes with that.
This is true, and it's also, just as you said, it's very helpful in that way, because number one, as you're walking and going about your active lifestyle, you don't have a cord that you have to look down to focus in on, but you may actually get in an accident or
That's
something
a good
of that
point.
sort.
That's a very good point, in terms of that, because getting distracted,
Exactly.
and riding a bicycle, and you want to
Exactly.
make sure you don't get your cord tied up in the handlebars or
Exactly.
something like that.
Exactly.
That's another really good plus for what you're talking about, because little small things, it doesn't take much to before you realize that just one little trip up and you're riding on your bike, it could be really devastating.
Yes, exactly.
What area you got in the Los Angeles metropolitan area? What other geographical areas are you working in or planning on working in?
Okay, so basically, in essence, so we have manufacturers, for example, that we have partnered with, and they actually are in places like North Carolina,
Okay.
Florida,
Okay.
and Texas.
Oh,
so we
okay.
are actually working with manufacturers. All of our products are made in the USA.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yes, they're
I
all
didn't
made
know
in-
that before.
Yes, all made in the USA, and
Uh-huh.
so we have that available, and so we're actually expanding into other areas of the U.S. We believe in the U.S., and we believe in making products here and building a strong USA.
Okay. Well, then that's an important point, because made in the USA is a good branding proposition.
Yes.
And when you built your business model about that, What was your thought process that makes sure that it was built in the United States? Just share the audience their thought processes going into that.
Okay. Yes. No. We initially we reminisce on what the U.S. used to do. I mean, we built a lot of great things. We still have a lot of great ideas here.
Right.
And it was just our thought was we always wanted to continue to see jobs here in the U.S.
Right.
That was an important factor for us.
Right.
And that's why we said, first of all, let's start with making everything in the U.S.
Okay.
That's our goal. Jobs here in the U.S., stronger USA. That's what we thought. We figured the idea came from us here in the U.S. Why not continue to grow and build on that?
You know, I think that because I didn't know that about when we talked before. At least if you mentioned it, I don't recall. But it's very important because from the outset, a company that's growing and building in the United States, and that's part of the business model. And then you can grow, and the whole nation will benefit from buying the product from you, as opposed to having it shipped in on a containerized ship and this kind of thing. And so then we can build a more stable economy in the manufacturing area as well.
Exactly.
That's good. Why those states that you mentioned?
We continue to look into other states. Those states actually just happen to be, it was a bit of a challenge finding the actual manufacturers here.
Okay.
Everyone always wanted to send us overseas.
Right.
So we actually had to work hard to find those particular states. So we continue to look for other areas as well, but so far there's a large population of growth in North Carolina in terms of tech and tech jobs and such.
Is that near the Research Triangle?
Correct, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Because I went to summer school one year, 1972, to Duke's Marine Lab in Beaufort, North Carolina.
Okay, yes,
You know?
yes.
So you familiar with Beaufort?
I'm familiar with North Carolina just because of our travels out there, but I can't say I'm familiar with all of the parts.
Okay. Yeah, because I was at Duke's Marine Lab, and there's two Beaufort spelled the same. One is Beaufort, and then there's Beaufort. And Beaufort is in South Carolina. And Beaufort is the way they pronounce it in North Carolina.
Okay.
So if you said Beaufort, you know you're a foreigner. You know you're not from North Carolina. You're from South Carolina. And I remember there was a marine algae class I was taking in summer school, and at the same time I created a science program talking about innovation and stuff. USC is a hotbed of innovation and people coming out of SC creating a lot of useful kinds of things.
Yes.
And over the years. So you picked the states, there was difficulty to find manufacturers, and that thought process, let's talk about that a little bit more. Since you've gone through it and you have established those in Texas and North Carolina, and you're looking to expand to other manufacturing venues, what's your understanding about your technology now going forward in terms of being the future of expansion?
Well, we actually see a lot of growth opportunities right now as we talk to our manufacturers and continue to kind of in our research and development within One E Way, we actually see how we can expand on the technology and do other different things. Bringing that to our manufacturers has been beneficial because they actually bring manufacturing ideas that help it become more efficient, production-wise, and actually distribution-wise as well.
Okay.
So that's a lot of good. And by the way, also we just established a manufacturing company in California as well. So,
okay, very good.
yes.
Because you hear that people whining, complaining about California is hard for business and stuff like. But still, we're about the 8th largest economy in the world. So I mean, it can't be too bad for business, right?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
And so I'm glad to hear that in terms of the California connection and manufacturing and offering that opportunity for people. Now, do you envision going on doing speaking engagements and stuff like that?
We're open to any opportunity to help America know more about not just so much what we do, but what we do is definitely important, but also the technology and understanding more about it and how it can be more useful in their active and leisure lifestyles. Okay,
on that point, let me speak to the historically black college engineering people and alumni. You have an entrepreneur, an engineer, would be a great role model for people to call on, to come and talk to young people pre-college, college level to come and talk about what it takes to be successful in a highly mathematical arena as in engineering, and let them see that someone like them is succeeding, and this is so important. We have a few minutes left, Mr. Woolford. Earl, tell us a little bit about where you would like the audience to take this message, this introduction to your company, One E-Way. What would you like us to go away with?
So I'd like everyone to leave with, first of all, more understanding about wireless and how it actually works. I know a lot of us use wireless every day, but it's good to understand how this actually works. And we want to make sure that there's understanding about it. And so we want to educate, and then we also want to let them know how it can be so useful in their daily lifestyle. This is all about lifestyle. We have products that, from our wireless caps, to our wireless beanies, to our wireless hoodies, to our wireless bike helmets, have all those things that actually meet your lifestyle. So we want you to understand that there's a lot of opportunities in the wearable wireless space, and we're here to provide everything, and we'd like to provide knowledge as well. And we want to make sure that they understand also that this is about connectivity, just in general. Connectivity to your smartwatch, to your smartphone, to your tablet, to your laptop, and anything beyond.
Right. And also, just a thought as we get ready to wrap up, this also opens up young people in the design